Hey, this is Don from Padlock Technologies again with another video for the question that I was asked about dynamic VLAN assignment using ICE. Should you do it? Should you not do it? Well, it really depends on who you're asking, but um, it's really a network design question first before it's the ICE security network access control question. Why is that? Because first things first, I always say this: ICE will not make your network design better, but it will quickly expose how bad your network design actually is, right? Because all you're doing is putting security on top of a bad network. I did make a video about, great engineering won't fix bad design. You can do as many band-aids if you want, but if you're building a network where you have to put a whole bunch of band-aids in it, it's bad design. So again, great engineering will not fix bad design. So back to the question. Now, it really depends how much work you want to put forth in managing your network and making sure that your computer resources, things that are going to be doing 802.1x, basically the supplicants that are going to be plugging in, do you want to control it manually? Meaning at every switch, you need to make sure the correct switch port is configured for the correct VLAN, or do you want to have ICE basically dynamically assign it so you can kind of take that off of your plate? Now, me, I'm trying to minimize as much manual work as possible. So I would say in certain situations, you should let ICE handle the dynamic VLAN assignments. And what are those situations? Well, again, back to the network design conversation. I've been in plenty of networks where the user VLAN is different everywhere you go. From a design perspective, bad design, right? If you want to have some kind of synergy in your design, the user VLAN should be the same in every uh, site as long as you didn't use that VLAN for something else. Obviously, for example, if you're using VLAN 10 as the user VLAN, well, then when you go from HQ to branch site, VLAN 10 should be the user VLAN. Now, what happens if you did not do that, or you're someone coming in from, incumbent IT, they moved on, you come in there and you're now the new person? Well, you can still have ICE do it for you because ICE can dynamically assign the VLAN in two ways. They can do it by the number or they can do it by the name. I usually tell people if they don't know their network infrastructure to do it by the name because the name can be the same everywhere, but the VLAN could be different. So, case in point, if you had a VLAN called employees, you actually named it employees. Let's say at HQ, it's VLAN 10. At branch site 1, it's VLAN 30. At branch site 2, it's VLAN 40. At branch site 3, it's VLAN 70, and so forth and so on. Well, you can't assign different VLAN numbers in the policy, right? So what you're going to have to do is use the name employees. If you name that VLAN the same, you can call it employees, you can call it, computers, domain computers, you can call it whatever you want. Then you call that in the authorization policy. And then on every switch, it will look for that name and then it will assign it the VLAN that's assigned to that name. That's how you get around it, right? And again, this is going to take a lot of the pressure off of you, making sure that, hey, when a user plugs in, they're in the right VLAN. Because what's the worst thing that can happen? You don't do dynamic VLAN assignments. Someone leaves it on an Access VLAN that is technically for production servers. We've seen it, and I know people are going to say that would never happen. Trust me, it's happened. I've seen people take switches from the data center, repurpose it into the campus network, and the same VLANs are technically assigned to the port, or the server VLAN is assigned to the port, and they didn't realize that was off. Again, that's bad process, but it does happen. So to make sure from an authorization standpoint that they're going to always get on the same VLAN no matter where they go in their environment, meaning the data or user VLAN, I don't really care about the number per se. I would make sure that ICE sends down that dynamic VLAN assignment with the name of the user VLAN that you want and not the number, because we're kind of creatures of habits as engineers. We kind of say, hey, oh, my VLANs are different all over the place, so I want to control that. Well, depends on if you want to control it. How many tickets do you want your help desk to have? And how many times you want to go to every single switch and change the access port to be the appropriate VLAN when someone moves from, HQ to, remote site A. So that hopefully that answers that question about should you use ICE for dynamic VLAN assignment. I'm going to say yes, it is one of the things you can do. But again, you need to make sure you do one or two things. You're either going to have the same name everywhere you go in your environment, so you can call the name out in your authorization policy, or you're going to have the same VLAN number everywhere for the users so that when you call it in the, authorization policy, it's the same everywhere, right? Because if the VLAN doesn't exist, pretty much you can't assign a VLAN. This is Don from Padlock Technologies. Hopefully that video was informative. If you got some more questions about just security in general, ICE routing, data center routing, stuff like that, normal, enterprise routing or security firewalls, things like that. It's going to be links in the description. You can send me an email or you can put your question in the comment. I do read the comments, and maybe if I read your comment, I'll give you a shout out and then I'll create a video answer for it. Thank you and have a nice day.